Okay, so we will start. So today, so as per our plan, as per our discussion, that we will start SQL tutorial. So first of all, before going to SQL, we have to know the concept of what is data, what is database, what is database management system, then what is a relational database management system, then we will know what is MySQL and SQL. So guys, first of all, we will know what is the data. Suppose I will say some information about a particular employee. Let employee ID is 101. Employee name, suppose John. Employee salary, let it 30,000. So these are the information 101, John, and 30,000. These are the information about a particular employee. So guys, you remember, so these pieces of information is known as data. First point that we have to know, the pieces of information is known as a data. 101, John, 30,000, or one information about a particular employee. Okay, so now what is information? So there is a beautiful interview question as a fresher. So what is data and what is information? So pieces of information is known as data, but when data is processed, when a data is processed, then we will get information. Then we will get information. So processed data is called as information. Suppose I want to know some information about the employee Zan, then I have to go through a process. I will go to John's company. and I will go through his accounts department. So by going through a process, by going through a process, if I will get the salary information of Jan, then we can say that is data. Another example I will give the clarity. Suppose you have an account in a bank, your balance is suppose 30,000. Unfortunately, you have forgotten what is your balance. So what you are doing, you are going to ATM machine, you are inserting your ATM card, then you are following some instructions, then after some processing of some steps, then a response message is displaying in the picture. Your availability balance or your available balance is 30,000. Then my point is 30,000 is already available, but you got 30,000 by going through a process. So that processed data, that is called as information. So 30,000 is data. Again 30,000 we can consider as information. When the data is processing, then whatever we are getting, so that is information. Processed data is called as information. Then coming to the point, database management system, these are small terminology that we have to know before what entering to the SQL in MySQL environment in detail. Database management system, database. Then we will go to the database. Database, very simple things. It is a place where we can store the data. So your my Excel. So here, if I will go through an Excel, Word, where we can store data, file. So database means it is a place where we store the data. But in our context, just another point I will add. So not only a database stores the data, but some process that is happening, okay, to provide the right information at the right time at the right place to the right person. Again, I am repeating, database not only storing a data, but how the data is processing to generate, to produce desired information, to provide desired information to the right people at the right time at the right place, which is more convenient and efficient. Okay, and coming to the database management system, the system which is managing the database, DBMS, basically it is called DBMS in short term, if I will say. So DBMS, we can say it is an application, it is a software, we can say, which managing database. Management means inserting data, updating data, deleting data, retrieving data. These are the management. The application which is doing this, so we can say that is DBMS. So now the terminology came RDBMS. Now that is our requirement. So in DBMS, basically data we store in a tabular manner, but the table database having no relation. But in RDBMS, relational database, so I will show you practically. I will create a database. Inside that database, so I will create many tables. So whatever the tables that we will create for keeping data, so table having a relationship. So hence the table and table have a relationship. So that representing a relational database. And whatever the application which is managing relational database, so we can say that is relational database management system. The management including same point, inserting a record, updating record, deleting record, retrieving record, so retrieving data from a table, so we will see in detail. Then so I hope everybody got clarity what is data, what is database, what is database management system, and what is relational database management system. Then there are so many RDBMS products, softwares playing in the market. Oracle very popular, MySQL very popular nowadays. Oracle, MySQL are two database softwares. So which is what the product of Oracle Corporation, SQL Server. So etc. MongoDB, DB2. So there are so many database softwares playing in the market. Then we will what catch MySQL. So it is completely free and open source. Freely we can download MySQL and we can install. So how to download and MySQL? So this video that already we have in our Silan Software YouTube channel. You go through that. So happily you can get the whole idea how to download MySQL software and how to install MySQL software for getting database environment. Many one point that here I want to what I want to give the clarity. Many students they have some confusion, uh, MySQL and SQL. Many times the students are taking what confusion. So what is the difference? But actually strictly speaking, so you cannot compare SQL and MySQL. I will give the clarity MySQL and SQL. But if you compare then MySQL to Oracle or other database software environments, so MySQL is a simply database software currently acquired and maintained by Oracle Corporation. But once we will download MySQL environment, MySQL sorry database software, so once we will download and once we will install, then we will get MySQL environment. Basically, that environment is called as database environment. MySQL command cell, MySQL workbench. There is a what nice GUI tool. Okay, so once we will install MySQL, then we will get database environment. You see, so this is my MySQL environment. If I will close, then if I want to open, then in search button, if you type MySQL, then you see automatically. So an option is coming to the picture MySQL workbench. You click. Okay. So once you will click, then so welcome to MySQL branch. Default user account is root. So if I will click, so once password will come to the picture, you give the password. Here I have done directly it is opening. So you guys you see this is MySQL environment. Basically, this is called as a database environment. This is the field. This is the field where we can create and manage the database. Where we can create and manage the database. But the question is how I will create and manage the database. So by writing and executing SQL statement. Okay, so SQL is a non-procedural language, structured query language developed by IBM. So near about in 1970, so that SQL came to the picture. So SQL is a language. Then we will learn SQL. So we will write SQL statements and execute SQL statements. Where I will write? We will write in MySQL environment or database environment. So I hope everybody got clarity. MySQL and SQL. Strictly speaking, MySQL is a database software. So we can say it is the product of Oracle Corporation. So once MySQL software we will download, then we will install, then we will get an environment. Basically, that environment is called as database environment. So why database environment? In database environment, we will write SQL statement and we will execute SQL statement. Now we will learn SQL. Now we will go to SQL in details that we will know. So guys, this point is important because SQL nowadays, what it is using with every technology like Java and Python widely for the development of web application, various web and enterprise applications. The concept of SQL is requiring offered that nowadays artificial intelligence and data science concept, so that is what's playing an important role, so for development of different AI and data science applications. So the concept of SQL, so that is mandatory that we have to know. Okay, so we will start SQL. Structured, full form is structured query language. Structured query language. So one point I will write, it is a non-procedural language which is used to, okay, create and manage the database. Manage the database, we will see. The management means what? The management means includes what? Insert data into a table, update data in a table, retrieve data from a table. So this is management. Okay, so SQL is developed by IBM. Okay, in 1970 it came to the picture. So overall, it is a non-procedural, suppose programming language, Java, Python. So suppose Python is a procedural language. There is a procedure. So basically, there is a function concept. Okay, when a function is calling, function definition is executing, that is a procedure. But here in SQL, there is no that type of procedure concept, and every programming language is case sensitive, but here SQL is not case sensitive. That means there is no difference between uppercase character and a lowercase character. So you can use what, there is no any character, there is no difference between uppercase A and a lowercase a, so it is not case sensitive. SQL is not case sensitive. Okay, SQL is not case sensitive. Okay, then overall SQL, if I will explain, SQL consisting, if I will say SQL consisting three terminologies, by taking three important points, SQL is consisting. One is, or SQL is based on 3 points. One is DDL. One is DDL, one is DDL, one is DML, and one is DQL. Okay, so the SQL is based on 3 points, three terminologies. One is DDL, one is DML, and one is DQL. So what is DDL? So DDL, data definition language, data definition language, DML, data manipulation language, data manipulation language. One is DQL, data query language, data query language. Okay, so SQL, what I told again, I am repeating. SQL is based on 3 points, three terminologies. One is DDL, one is DML, and one is DQL. So we will know in detail. We will know in detail. So first we will know what is DDL. What is DDL? Data definition language. So DDL meant for how to create a table, how to create a table, then how to alter a table, how to create a table, then how to alter a table, then how to drop a table. So what is the meaning of alter a table? Alter means add one or more than one column, add new column, modify existing column, then drop a column. So guys, you remember in RDBMS context, relational database management system context, table is main focus. So we will create a table and we will store data in table. So in RDBMS context, table is called as a relation. A table is fully defined by taking some column. Okay, so DDL meant for what? So DDL meant for how to create a table, how to alter a table. So altering a table means what? If I want to add a new column, then yes, we can add. If I want to modify existing column, then we can add. Then if I want to drop a column, then also we can add. This is called as altering a table. Then uh, to create a table, to alter a table, then how to drop a table, how to drop a table. So these 3 points, so DDL is representing or DDL meant for this. Now we will go to MySQL environment. So we will see practically how we will create a table by taking some columns. I hope everybody got clarity. So now we will go to the MySQL environment. So this is MySQL environment. Suppose first of all, what the concept of MySQL is saying, if you want to create a table, if uh, we want to create a table, first of all we have to create a database. Okay, so how to create a database? Create a database name. Let my database name is employee DB. Suppose my objective is So we will create an employee table, and that employee table will contain some information, and we will see how to create a table and how to alter a table and how to drop a table. So this is the agenda of today's session. Okay, so first of all, what I told, so before creating a table, so first of all, we will create a database. So how to create a database? So what we have to write, this is SQL. In a database environment, here my database environment is MySQL. So once MySQL you will install, then you will get this environment. Basically that environment is called as what? Database environment. So in database environment, this is the first point that we have to know. So how to create a database? So statement is create database name. Database name is completely user defined, whatever you can specify, there is no problem. Now suppose I provided the database name is employee db. Now I will hit run. You see where is my cursor? So this is the execute option. Now I will click. Okay, so once I clicked, just to see in the button position create, so one row affected. Okay, just to see this is the schemas bar, and you see there is a refresh button. Where is my cursor? There is a refresh option, you click. So when I clicked, you see just one database created. One database created. Just I open the database. So what I did, I created a database. The name of the database is employee DB. Okay. Now I will go to the next point. So the next point is what? I will create a table. So before creating a table, first of all, suppose you will so draw in roughly first you do the architect. Suppose let it my table name is employee table. My table name is employee table. Let this employee table that I will create by taking three columns. One is employee ID. They depend upon you, and they depend upon your problem task, what the task is given. So that it depend upon your analysis which table that you will create, and the table will take how many number of columns. So employee ID, let it employee name, suppose employee salary. Suppose I will create employee table by taking three column. One is employee ID and one is employee name and employee salary. So these three columns that I will consider for creating employee table. Now I will go to my database environment. Now I will start how to create a table. So create table name. Guys, you remember in MySQL context, in MySQL environment, when the table name we will specify, always you remember database name dot table name. You write employee db dot employee table in this way, then bracket start, then this is the way. Again I am repeating, when I will specify the table name, when I will specify the table name, then always we will give database name dot table name, database name dot table name. Now coming to the next point, we will move forward. uh, we will specify the column name. Every table that will create by taking some column, first is employee id. So column in RDBMS context is called as attribute. And you remember every column is fully identified by some SQL data type. So every, again I'm repeating, every column is fully identified some SQL data types. Some SQL data types. So there are so many data types are available. Int, char, so size, varchar varchar size, so date, belove, etc. There are so many SQL data types available. The popular data type is varchar. It is a such data type which is allowing both character data and numeric data also. So if the column I will specify as varchar, so when I will insert a record, if when I will assign the data, so I can take character data as well as numeric data also. Int only int value, char only char value, date value, employee joining date, bill of for image data, etc. There are so many SQL data types are available. Guys, you remember every column or every attribute is fully defined by SQL data types. So I will write employee ID. I can write int also. Then I can write varchar. If I will take int only, int value I will take. So I will write varchar and size whatever you give. Suppose I provided 200. So when the employee ID value I will assign. Suppose employee ID value. Suppose I will take 101. Size 1013. So three digits size is 3. So whatever you are specifying the size, and when the value we will assign, that value size should less than equals to 200. Then another point that I want to add, I will give a constraint. Let it so employee ID. This is primary key. So it is optional whether you can specify or you cannot specify. Primary key is a constraint. It is a protocol, employee ID column that I will consider as primary key. So what is primary key? Primary key, the column which is uniquely identifying a record, that column is called as primary key. That primary key column cannot contain null value, and that column contain whatever the value, that every each and every value is unique. Your employee ID, registration number, vehicle number, so all are primary key value. So through that primary key value we can retrieve a record uniquely. Okay, so this is optional, but it will be better when we are creating a table. So whatever the columns that we are considering, so if the column we will choose, this column is primary key, that will be good practice. Then comma, then next employee name, where here let 200. Suppose I will give a size. Okay, suppose if you will write not null, this is another constraint, but it is optional. That means not null is another constraint like primary key. So this not null constraint representing what, the column employee name when I will assign the value, so cannot contain null value. Then employee salary, let where here let 200. Suppose if this is my last column, guys, you remember in this last column there is no comma, then enter, then bracket n. Okay, so this is the way that we can create a table. This is the way that we can create a table. Create table name, but again I am repeating, when table name we are specifying always database name dot table name we will write, then bracket start, then column name employee ID. So each column is fully defined by some SQL data type, by some SQL data type. So that's why I wrote employee ID this varchar. So data type, whatever we specified. Okay, so now we will hit run. That means we will click on execute button. Now I clicked. You see, when I clicked, then in button position you see, so here, so happily it created. So to see the structure of a table, if an error will arise, so here that error will show. Okay, so then we will go to the next point to see the structure of a table. What we have to write, you see, once just you will click on refresh button, you see, so here I clicked on refresh button. In the database, one table option, tables option, you see, where is my cursor, I will enter the table. You see, employee table that I created. So whatever employee table I created, when I executed successfully, it is reflecting in schemas bar. You see, employee DB is my database. Under the employee DB database, there is an option tables. Under tables option, there is an option employee, and you click here, and under employees option, there are columns option. Then in columns, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. So whatever we executed, whatever we did, so that is reflecting here for getting clarity. Okay, then we will go to the next point to see the structure of a table. To see the structure of a table. So what we have to write? To see the structure of a table, so one statement we will execute, describe command. Basically this is called describe command. Whether you write fully describe, or you can write the ESC. So describe table name, so always I will write database name employee db dot table name employee. So always we will write describe employee db dot employee. Now I will hit run. I will hit on execute button. You see, so table structure created. You see, table structure created. Table structure created. These are field, employee ID, employee name, employee salary, type is varchar size is 200, 200, 200, and one column, one field is considering as primary key. So in this way that we got the structure of a table. So here we created employee table by taking three column. One is employee ID, and one is employee name, and one is employee salary. Okay, so I hope everybody got clarity. Then we will go to the next point. So DDL meant for 3 points. How to create a table. This line we completed. Now we will go to this point. How to alter a table. Then we will go to how to drop a table. This is all about DDL. Now we will go for altering. How to alter a table. Now in my database environment, suppose I want to add a new column. Okay, suppose I want to add a new column. New column. Suppose I want to add a new column. So how I will add? So suppose let it employee address. Suppose I want to add. So in which way that I will write? You see, alter table name. So table name I will specify employee DB database name dot table name employee DB database name dot table name, alter table names, add. Okay, so add, so add, then whatever the new column, whatever the new column you want to add, that column you specify. Suppose employee address. Suppose employee address I want to specify. Currently I was saying every column is fully identified by data type, so I have to specify the data type. Okay, so semicolon is optional whether you put semicolon, otherwise whether you will not specify semicolon. So if there is no error, then there is, if there is no red cross mark, then you will know there is no error. Okay, so how to add a new column? If you want to add more than one column, then comma, then another column, then data type. So you can add in this way. Okay, so alter table name. then add column and corresponding data type. Now I will hit run. Okay, so now one table actually altered, that means one column added, you see. So now we will see the structure of a table. We will see whether a new column, whatever we added, so that have added or not. So we will go to the next point. So now I want to see the structure of a table. Employee db dot employee, my table name is. Now I will hit run. You see employee address, so employee address, so new column added. Okay, so this is called as what? To add new column, to add new column. Okay, now I want to modify the column. Suppose employee name is varchar. Suppose I thought employee name John, Smith, Rahul, Sachin. Employee name is a completely string value, all are carried is a sequence of characters only. Care I will take in state of varchar. Okay, suppose so, because altering a table means to add new column, modify an existing column. So here my task is I want to modify the employee name data type varchar into care. So what I will do, same point that I will write, same way I will write alter table name employee dv dot employee. Okay, then what I will write, alter table name, then modify. So modify is a keyword, column, modify column, you have to write column is a keyword here, column, modify column. Okay, then column name, modify, then column name, modify, then column name. So which column that I want to modify? Employee name, then care, suppose 200. Okay, so now this is the way that we can modify an existing column. So employee name type was varchar 200. Now I wanted to modify varchar into char. Now you see I will hit run. So you see now it is modified. Again we will see the structure of a table. Describe, then table name, database employee db dot employee table. Now I will hit run. You see, employee name data type is care. Now varchar converted or modified into care. This is called as modifying an existing column. Similarly, so this point, add a new column completed, modify existing column completed. So then drop a column. So very simple for dropping a column. Suppose if I want to what drop employee salary column. Suppose I wanted that I will keep in my employee table the employee id column, employee name column, and employee address column. Employee salary column I want to drop. The same way I will write alter table name employee dv dot employee. Okay, alter table name. So very simple to drop a column. What I will write, you remember, drop is a keyword, column is a keyword in SQL context, column name, so employee salary. So here when I what will drop a column, so only column name we are specifying. There is no need to specify the corresponding data type in detail. So alter table name. So as we know, when table name we are specifying anywhere, particularly in my SQL context, always a database name dot table name we will specify. And how to drop a column, drop column name. Okay, so now I will hit run. You see one column dropped. So this is all about altering a table. How to alter, you see. Now we will see the structure of a table. So describe database name employee db dot employee. Now I will hit run. You see, so one column dropped, employee salary column dropped. Okay, so this is called as how to alter a table. So this part completed. How to drop a column, how to drop a column, this part completed. So 2 point, in this way 2 point we completed. Okay, so to create a table and to alter a table, to create a table and alter a table, then very simple, we will go to drop, drop a table will be dropped. Very simple things. So drop table, table name, very simple. Now I will go to my SQL environment. If I want to drop the table, so I will write drop table, table name. If I will run this point, so table will drop, table will drop. Okay, so means remove. So drop table, table name in my SQL context. So when we specify table name, always we will specify database name dot table name. So drop table, table name. Now I will hit run. You see table dropped. If I, after that, if I will write describe table name employee db dot employee table, so you see, if I will hit run, then I will get an error. That means which error that we got? Employee db dot employee does not exist. That means employee table I dropped. So immediately the server, you remember once database software MySQL, we will install internally a server will create here. So local host, the server name is, the server is providing the response. There is a table employee, that type of table does not exist. Employee db dot employee does not exist because I dropped the employee table. Okay, so in this way this point completed. So overall this is all about DDL, and this is whatever the agenda that we have today, that we completed. So it is very important. The first point of SQL, that is DDL, data definition language. Just I'm repeating what DDL is meant for. DDL is meant for how to create a table, how to alter a table, then how to drop a table. So overall, so one table created, new column we added, modified, dropped the column, then we drop the table. Then after successfully table knowing the table creation, then we will know in our next live session, I will inform you how to insert a record, how to update the record, and how to delete the record. So that is representing, or that is DML, data manipulation language. Inserting a record, updating a record, deleting a record. So after DDL and DML, then we will go to DQL. So that is important data query language. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Thank you.